guys? I'm Bob from the Board Game Rundown, and I am here with Evan Helbert.
Hello.
Designer of After the Empire. You guys have probably heard me talk about the game a lot because I love it. It's super awesome, has awesome table presence. And we're just going to talk about that a little bit. And,
Yeah, sounds great.
See where it goes from there.
I like it.
Yeah. So what's next for After the Empire?
Next for After the Empire, we have an expansion coming out, likely 2024. You never know with this stuff, just
Sure.
pipelines and shipping and yada
Right,
yada.
yeah.
But likely 2024, we've got an
Awesome.
expansion coming out. Basically, nothing is in stone until you push print at the manufacturer.
Right.
Currently,
Yes.
you've got an extra troop type. You've got knights running around the field. You've got these invading raiding parties that affect the worker placement aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Where you have to like figure out if you send people out with your workers, like defenders out with your workers, or if you keep them back to defend. So it's kind of a little bit more push your luck aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a gajillion and one new cards that interact with all that new stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I like about the setting your people out is that you don't have to feed them.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause they're out,
Exactly.
they'll fend for themselves.
Yeah. When they're out in the countryside, they can
There's
chop
stuff to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
with an
find it.
apple or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that was very cool. We did have the opportunity to play with the expansion a little bit yesterday. It was a lot of fun. The knights are super cool. They have like the manners. I'm excited to see what you do with the bits because that's one of my favorite parts about that game is the cool bits that are inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have another. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We haven't got the official yes from Gray Fox yet. Theoretically, there might be another expansion soonish or laterish. In the works. That's basically a bunch of extra castle stuff that you can build.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, castles had moats. Where's the moat?
Yes.
There's the moat.
Yeah.
Castles had sweet boiling water cauldrons. Where's the boiling water cauldrons?
Yeah.
Like
I think
all
that
that
was
kind
some
of
of the
stuff.
things that we were asking for because we had done an episode about things we want to see in expansions of games we like, and that was one of the ones I mentioned. And like more defenses for
you got the
your
moats.
castle.
You've got like little mid-wall bartisans that are like little short towers. That, like all kinds of stuff.
Maybe like a barricade to put in front of the wall to stop them from the meleeing too quickly or something.
See, now we have to
know,
add that.
Yeah. Ideas guy.
So we'll see if that happens. I can't promise. I can't promise.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a talk to Gray Fox.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm curious on how serious you are about the fantasy expansion for After the Empire because I'm a Wizards guy, right?
Yeah. So this is one of those things that way back when, when we designed the original game and we were going to self-publish it and everything, we had 6 expansions planned, like on spreadsheets, like that we were going to like. If this does well enough that we can justify printing expansions, we've got these 6 expansions ready to go. These 6.
That's hard to say.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Mid-con.
Yeah. It's Saturday already. There's been a lot of talking going on already.
And one of them is a fantasy expansion, which has not yet been approved by Gray Fox.
That's
if you really want to see that expansion, that means you have to tell all your friends to buy After the Empire so that they can justify financially producing more content for it.
We'll do that. We're gonna get it out there. Yeah.
But yeah, fantasy would basically it's like asymmetrical boards, centaurs and dwarves and dragons, and new castle bits because dwarves of course make iron walls and just all that kind of stuff. And there's sorcerers and
new types of enemies, maybe like orcs
new types of enemies, all that stuff.
Nice.
And the siege cards are no longer siege engines. They are like dragons and giants and like coming through.
They've got ogres.
Demolishing your stuff.
Right.
And, I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a necromancer who makes like an army of anyway. Yeah.
Oh, that's got to happen now.
But like we haven't actually developed it. We haven't actually. There's just like a list of ideas and cards. Like we have the cards written out, but once you actually put them down and play with them, then you're like, all right. So it's a bunch of ideas right now. But I would love to have an excuse to sit down and actually
do
work
some
through
more
that.
stuff with that. Yeah, that'd be a ton of fun.
So I'm a fantasy nerd.
Yeah,
I'm a fantasy nerd.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, all that kind of stuff.
And we specifically went non-fantasy here, because it was an option.
Right. Yeah.
But basically, then I went historical nerd.
Right.
And even though it doesn't say it on the box, in my mind and in my research, as far as like the stuff that's in here, within reason, because we did fudge a bit, because if you go for high fidelity simulation, the game. It limits your
misery
stuff.
charm.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's living through a siege. Yay.
So it's 1282.
Okay.
Somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in there.
That's kind of the like
where it's at.
If you wanted to place it in a time and place, it'd be 1282 somewhere in Europe. Although of course this is non-specific.
Right. It's not like, oh, is this actual empire?
Right.
It's just an empire.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things in here that didn't show up until like 1294.
Sure.
You know,
Well, actually, the trebuchet wasn't invented until I don't know when.
I don't actually remember, but like there was like one in 1190 or something.
Okay.
And then they weren't really popular until like a little. I don't remember. This is research from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So history buffs, you will probably tear me a new one. But
well,
actually, but at one point I did do all that research.
Cool. So what do you have planned next besides After the Empire?
So I've got Emily Wilkes has a game, Bah Humbug. She just asked a bunch of designers, hey, I've got this unique card set. Why don't you make games with this card set? And I'll put it in the box. So I've got a Trick Taker in there. It's called Bah Humbug. My Trick Taker is just one of the little extra games in there.
Nice.
I've got 2 or 3 games coming out next year.
Wow.
Well, the expansion probably.
Okay, yeah.
All the timelines, who knows?
Right.
But then I've got a game. It's like it's called the game name is still undetermined, but probably Metpatok or something of Metpatok or something like that.
Okay.
And it's this ancient ruined city in this my friend's IP world. Where it's a tile exploration, hex tile exploration.
Yeah, okay.
You've got your characters, your main character, and then your extra little buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you've got equipment and spells, and the level up system and the area control is what's kind of makes it unique. So on your turn, you get to pick. Am I moving? Am I interacting? Am I fighting?
Okay.
But then when you interact with a spot, you level up by taking the marker off of your character, which shows some kind of bonus that you reveal, and then that marker goes onto the board as your area control marker.
Okay.
So I really like that. I don't know, maybe it's
because you're controlling more stuff, you're becoming more powerful.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same piece does both of those things.
It's almost like a scythe when you I'm gonna put my mech out now. I have this ability.
Yeah, and that piece goes on the board.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So if somebody takes that area back from you, does that go back onto your board? And
No.
Okay, just
you currently, although
exactly.
It's not signed, it is signed, but it's not hasn't been fully developed yet.
Okay, sure.
But currently, once it's there, it's always there. So it never covers you back up. You don't lose levels.
Sure, that's good. You never know. I mean, you can knock it off and keep the level, but you don't hold the area. But
the publisher is like in the process of getting the tile art started.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about that because right now we're using, because I designed this like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like this old art that's no longer applicable to what we're doing. And so I'm like excited to actually see the real art. So you don't have to transpose everything in your brain when you're playing the prototype.
Right. Okay. I mean, we played some prototypes. We have good imaginations.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm really excited about 2 more games that I'm working on actively getting signed.
Okay.
One of them is a mid-weight heavy Euro game. After the Empire has that like element of, a little bit of a Mera game into it, which is why it works for Grey Fox.
Right.
But this one is like dry Euro, beige.
Yeah.
Lots
of tan.
There are skill tracks.
Nice tracks.
Set collection. Like it's a Euro game.
That sounds like a game for our buddy Jason from the Board Game Mechanics. He loves tan and he loves tracks.
Yeah. And hopefully, I think the art will be fancier than that, but it's a dry Euro game.
Hey, I'm a huge fan of like Hansa Teutonica. Like that's a very dry
exactly.
Euro.
Hansa
Teutonica it's a ton of fun.
Is great. Mm-hmm. But in this one, you're 14th century Greek monks building monasteries on these great spires that rise from the plains of Thessaly.
Okay.
And to keep them away from the bandits that are roving around. And so basically, you're moving around, placing tiles, making these monasteries, and engine building, tableau.
Well, it's kind of like a plateau because the table's flat.
That's going to be the new name of the game is Plateau Tableau.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm really excited about that one. Yeah. And then I've got this game. It's also a tableau, but it's more about the spatial management of the tableau.
Okay.
And then there's a common bidding area. And it's multi-use cards. So you program your actions, face down 3 cards, and then depending on where you place that, you're activating that part of the card. And simultaneous down, and then once everybody's ready, simultaneous face up. And you just do your program. Like boom, 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 I'm sliding these over here, I'm moving these around here. I'm trying to get these columns of certain suits in order. And then the last card that comes up is the bid, and then I'm winning that druid.
Okay.
So it's more about tableau, spatial management. Yeah. It's like a 30-minute card game.
I really like like the program movement type of stuff.
Yeah.
Was like I started doing that with some other games, like Lords of Zidit and whatnot.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
But like you have this little dial, and it's got 5 dials on it, and you're saying like right, left, right,
right.
And so you're moving your guy down these paths, trying to collect stuff, but then like everybody's interfering, getting in the way, and you're like, gosh, darn, I was gonna go.
I love the program management as long as it's not too many turns in advance. So like if I do 1 or 2 things I wanted, and then like one or two things that like I got messed up, like that's fun.
Right.
But if it's like the first thing works and then like 5 next things are just like I don't.
That was a great turn. Yeah.
So I like it. I really enjoy it. If it's not too far out.
Ahead. Yeah. Sure. That's fair. Yeah. So how long have you been like playing games?
Well, gosh, I mean since I was a kid, right? Sure. Games as a generic thing.
Right.
You know, started with D&D and then Magic and you know the
standards.
The standard 90s
stuff. Staples, 80s, 90s
and I didn't get into board games until, gosh, 2010, 2011.
Yeah, same.
Because I opened a board game store in Portland, Oregon with my buddy.
Cool.
Which is still there. You should go there if you're in Portland.
I would love to go to Portland.
Red Castle Games.
Okay. Go see there if you're there.
I don't own it anymore, but he still owns it.
Cool.
Yeah. So we opened the board game store, and that's when I was like, okay, I should learn about these products that we're selling.
Probably.
And I had played Catan, I had played Carcassonne, and been like, hey, I really like this.
Okay.
But then when I actually sat down to play games, Race for the Galaxy got me.
Okay.
Got me hooked, which is still a card game.
Yeah.
But it's verging on
square
board
cards,
game.
though, right? So slightly.
Were they square? I don't think so.
No?
I think they're poker. I think they're poker size.
Okay, maybe they're
It's been years since I played.
But we know we got Spencer. Quick intermission. Hey, Spencer. Race to the Galaxy, are those square cards or rectangular cards? Rectangular cards. Okay, you were right. I only played a couple times.
How many points did I get? Was that like 3 points?
Yeah, we'll give you 3 points.
Because it's a game. It's a game, right?
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah, life is a game.
And then like Lords of Waterdeep, I sat down and played, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
And then we played, my buddy Ryan, the co-designer, he knew I had designed something in the past, because I did a Kickstarter in 2011.
Okay.
You might be able to still find the video, which is ridiculous and hilarious and boring at the same time.
Wow. How are you hilarious and boring at the same time?
You're gonna have to watch.
I'm gonna try to find it.
If you can find it, it was called Big Fish River.
Okay.
And we made a 3-minute video, which is way too. If you're gonna do a Kickstarter, just so you know, way too long.
Yeah, 1 or 2, like 1 to 2.
It was way too long, but it was kind of fun. And then I don't know.
Was it campy? It was a very like cheesy.
It was very cheesy.
Nice. It was like your handheld camera, and you guys like, okay, no,
go. You know, production quality was okay.
Okay, good.
I mean, not like
not like this.
You guys have nice cameras.
We do.
But no, so I had done one game in the past.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, I've got this idea for this game. He was like tower defense, and it's like worker placement.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, we should like really play some stuff. And so then I played Pillars of the Earth, which to me is like a seminal, like, you know, it's like the example of pure worker placement.
Okay.
I know people might disagree with me on that.
I haven't actually played it.
But basically, you're like, I go here, I take these cubes. I go here, I take these. You know, it's like very much like
worker placement.
Like if you want to learn worker placement, like Pillars of the Earth.
Yeah, it'll teach you that mechanic.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we were playing a lot of Galaxy Trucker at the time.
Okay, yeah.
And it is really fun for me when people who are talking about this game are like, you know what it kind of reminds me of in some ways?
Yeah.
Galaxy Trucker. And we're like, yes! We were playing so much Galaxy Trucker when we designed
things
this.
Fall off your walls.
Yeah, stuff's falling apart.
Yeah.
If you like skate into port and you have like 1 cube left, you're like, yes,
counts.
I made it. Yeah. So like there's definitely
walls gone, not sacked. Still counts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still good. I'm still good. I've got one wall left.
That's right.
So you can definitely see like what we were playing at the time, and
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So, what's your favorite thing that's changed about games since you started playing games?
I mean, the obvious one is our industry had a lot of. It wasn't very welcoming to all communities.
Okay, yeah.
Right? There was a lot of gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping, sure.
And a lot of folks didn't feel welcome. Right?
Yep.
We're not made to feel welcome.
Right.
Or in some cases, we're made to not feel welcome. And it's really been nice to see that
come around.
To see that change.
Yeah.
And in fact, now people go out of their way to make other people feel welcome.
Yeah.
And I'm loving that.
Yeah, that's great. Especially like being nerds growing up, picked on a lot.
Yeah, right.
And so now we want to have like a group and we're going to be mean to other people.
Right. That's what I feel so, you know, like when you see that, because when you see one group like doing the same thing that has happened to them to another group. I'm like, no, like we could just like
be nice.
We could just be nice to each other.
Wait, what? Well, it depends what game we're playing.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I would backstab you for sure.
Obviously, yeah.
But no. So I really enjoyed seeing that change. Cool. Kind of a rapid change in the community. I mean, from my perspective, which
I mean, now in our group, we've been pretty welcoming. Like, like everybody knows a lot of people from a lot of different like backgrounds, tastes, lots of diversity, and so that's always been great. I haven't had to deal. There's always a couple of like, we'll just say a-holes, right?
Yes.
But like, we try not to invite them. If we know there's gonna be people there that like they might be jerks to, guess what? You're not invited.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we like to sit on the table and just have fun with everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Like we might stab each other in the back on the table, like especially like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Like, I'm not totally not gonna invade that. I invade that, you know? But it's on
Never
the table.
played diplomacy.
Oh no, yeah.
I ruined a book club with diplomacy.
Oh really?
Because they were like, hey, maybe we could throw games in while we talk, you know. And I was like, diplomacy. Don't do that with your book club.
Yeah, they're not.
That was our last meeting.
They're not used to that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Don't do that.
Right, that's funny.
That was bad gamer friend.
Yeah.
I was not a good ambassador for the hobby.
Wah,
I didn't bring people into the hobby that day.
That's too bad. Yeah. Well, some of you got to chase away. No, I'm joking. What was the book you guys were reading? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember.
Okay, just wondering.
I think what was it? Was it? I think it was Heinlein. Which one? The one with Grocking in it. I don't know.
I don't read a lot.
Robert E. Heinlein. I don't know. Anyway, I don't remember. It's not Something Wicked This Way Comes. I can't remember.
All right, that's fine.
The other Heinlein. The people at home will know.
Okay. So next question for you: what's your favorite mechanic in a game?
It's got to be worker placement.
Yeah.
I just like. It's, you know, like, yes, it's also action selection, but like, I love that version of it.
To an extent. So to me, I think action selection is more of like on your own and you're not interfering with other people.
Right.
Whereas a worker placement is like, I went there, you cannot.
Like, for me, worker placement is player interaction.
Yes.
Right? I know not everybody's going to agree with that.
Right. Hey, if you're blocking a player, we're interacting.
Right.
It might be by not interacting, but we're still interacting.
I drink your milkshake. You know, it's like I literally took what you wanted before you could get there because you did that thing first. Well, if you needed this, you probably should have done this.
Yep.
So to me, that's like it's exciting. It's interactive. Cool. I really love worker placement.
Nice.
I mean, I like, you know,
all types of mechanics.
Everything. Like what's a mechanic? Like
like
cards
bag building?
Is cards
deck building
a mechanic?
Or,
you know, like
I mean, like, I think there's different mechanics that revolve around cards, right? Because it could be a deck building where you're actually actively building them, or it could be a LCG where you build a deck beforehand and you're just playing cards. But yeah,
I used to make fun of deck building a lot.
Oh, really?
Because like for a number of years, every game that came out was
a deck builder.
Also Dominion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I've played Dominion. I'm good. I don't need to play that game.
Right.
That's also Dominion.
Right.
And then finally people started doing different things that were different enough where I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
We're cooking.
That's, you know, like Dune Imperium's awesome. I love Dune Imperium.
Great game.
That is not Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's very different.
Yeah.
It has a similar mechanic.
Sure.
Also, but you know, and Lost Ruins of Arnak, right? That's not Dominion. So
okay. Contentious question.
Which one's better?
Yes.
This
may end the interview.
Okay. So, I don't know which camp you're in, but I'm guessing you and somebody else on the show have
conflicting beliefs.
Perhaps. I love both games, but my real answer is Dune Imperium.
Okay, you can go hang out.
I love Dune Imperium.
They're literally like this. Like,
but I'm also a Dune nerd, right? Like I read.
Sure, that helps.
I don't know when I gave up. I think I read 5.5 books.
And you're like, okay, well, that was like 20 years of your life. So.
Yeah, and I they just get. I don't know if you've ever read them, but they get like way more weird and like you're like, wait, why is this relevant to anything I've read before?
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
Okay.
So I kind of fell off.
Yeah.
So I'm not a true
Duner. I've only done 2 books.
Yeah.
That was enough for me. I enjoy the movies. They're fine.
Yeah, the first like 2 or 3 I really enjoyed, and then kind of
Okay. So here's a weird kind of a twist on that. Have you played War of Whispers?
No.
I describe it as Bene Gesserit, the game.
Okay.
So you're not controlling any one faction, but there's like 4 or 5.
But you're answering a box the whole time.
No, you are, but you're basically whispering into the leaders of that. Hey, you should go attack here. Hey, you should go do this there. And you have secret alliances down here.
That's cool.
Where you want like certain people to win, but you can also swap those.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's kind of like Bene Gesserit, the game.
I like it.
Good time.
That sounds fun.
Let's see what other questions does Tim have written down.
What do you got for me?
I don't know.
I talk too fast.
No. What? Oh, I thought that said quilting. I'm like, why is he asking questions about quilting?
I love quilt. No, I don't do quilting.
I have this huge one.
I like quilts, but I don't quilt them.
Have you ever considered quitting game design?
Quitting?
Yeah.
No.
No, you just like it. You really
no, the thing
it.
is, like, I have considered, like, not publishing stuff.
Okay.
But, like, the actual process of game design is just, like, so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding. It's like any creative field, right?
Yes.
Anything you make may or may not be right for a market or as a product, but, like, just the process of going through that creative process and iterating on the thing, and really, it's really self-discovery. You know, you learn more about yourself and more about what you do and don't like as you go through the process. It's just like any creative field.
Sure.
Like I take a lot of acting. I do a lot of acting stuff.
Nice.
And that is so much internal work where you're like, what does make me rageful? Because I have to, because I
tap into that.
Because I have to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
What does make me super, you know, and like you really learn more about yourself because you're placed in these, yes, they're facsimiles of real situations, but you have to try to get there emotionally.
Right.
And when you place yourself in these situations you haven't been in real life, you get to learn more about yourself. And game design is the same way.
Yeah.
Like you're like thinking about these things and you're like, well, what do I want the player to feel here?
Yeah.
You know, oh shoot, you know, maybe I as a player just don't like that thing. And now that makes sense with the games I do and don't like. And me as a designer, I guess I do have this tendency to make Euro games with sweet chunky bits in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you know my Great Meteora, the monastery building game has these chunky bits in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I do make.
That's just my thing.
Like maybe that's my thing.
Yeah.
I make Euro games with chunky
bits.
I don't know. Yeah. You know, and you like, I don't know. It's all this self-realization, self-actualization stuff.
Yeah.
Midlife crisis. You know, I'm like, I get to just do the things I want in life. I could just make board games.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Cool. I would never quit it, even if no other of my games ever got signed. Or
you keep trying.
I would keep going.
If you ever had to do something else to kind of pay the bills for now, you would still be trying to design and make that before the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle Empire.
Yeah, Middle Empire.
Before the Empire. Pre-Empire.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Ancient Empire.
Untapped ground there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like that Ancient Empire.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm designing it right now.
I'm gonna write that down.
I'm designing it right now.
Let's see.
I love ancient civilization stuff. So anyway.
What's kind of crazy is earlier in the convention, like we stayed at my parents' house Tuesday night.
Yeah, nice.
We watched The Mummy.
Yes.
And then the next day there was one table.
I met Brendan Fraser. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
He was so freaking nice.
Good. I'm glad.
Just like without question.
Yeah.
So freaking nice.
He seems like he's a nice guy, and I really feel bad for how much everything that happened to him.
He went through
a lot.
You could tell he was in the middle of like still kind of
dealing with some stuff.
Sure. But like he didn't put that off on other people.
Yeah.
You know, he was just super nice and friendly.
Sweet.
Yeah. I was blown away.
Very cool. Yeah, I like Brendan Fraser a lot. If you could do a game based on any IP, what IP would you pick?
So I had this one game one time where I was talking to a publisher, and it was like a character-driven game, you know, armor and all that jazz, exploring stuff and campaign, whatever.
Okay.
And I was talking to a publisher who at that time had access to D&D license. Ooh. And they were like, you know what would be awesome here is we have the D&D license. You could go through and add this. Because I'm not good at thematics. Okay. So I need like an IP to be like a boom.
To apply to something.
Sure. I'm good at that.
Right.
But coming up with the story, I'm not that good.
Okay.
That's not my skill set.
Right.
So I was like, can I retheme this to Dragonlance? Oh, that would be so amazing. We're searching for the discs of Mashakal.
Yes.
You know, like I was so excited about that. And then the next time I chatted with them, they're like, yeah, we're losing that license.
Man, that would be super cool.
Yeah. So to me, like Dragonlance would be like
nice.
There's so many things that I love.
Sure.
There's I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. You know, like literally any Heroes of Might and Magic was another one, and then they recently came out with a game. So I'm like, all right, I'm probably not gonna be able to do that.
Sure.
There's so many IPs that are just from our childhood, and that like it would be a dream to work on like anything nerdy.
Yeah.
Gummy Bears, the game, I would make it.
Oh yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
They get the gummy berry juice, and they're fighting, like
heck yeah.
Dookie.
I used to play a Chip and Dale Rangers video game.
Yeah.
I play a board game based on Chip and Dale. Yeah.
Oh, I think I played that.
Oh, is there one? Oh.
No, I think there is. It was when I was like in my later teens, I think. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Anyway.
Yeah. Darkwing Duck might be good too.
Oh, yeah. I love Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing. All right.
Yeah.
Don't sing.
Copyright. Copyrights. Don't sing. Yep.
I love to sing. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. That's not you.
Sometimes my wife is like, "Can you just stop for a minute?" Because I'm around the house like singing stupid songs, and she's like, "I just need like 30 seconds.
Zip it." Yeah.
Could you just? And I'm like, "You chose this life. You love me.
You love me, right?" Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into.
Let's see. Let's see if I can think of any other questions for you that I can. What's your favorite game right now? Like, if you could pick any game to grab off a shelf and go sit down over there and play,
I mean,
what would you play?
This is
time and player count, whatever you
totally
need to be.
self-serving.
Sure, After the Empire.
But like After the Empire, I have played this game, I don't know, 1,000 times, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Sure.
And like still freaking love it.
Nice.
So if I like, that would be my choice. But
yes,
if it was like any other scenario, and I was trying to like convince my wife to play with me, or like we have 30 minutes and we're just sitting down, Fantasy Realms has been really knocking it out of the park.
Really?
Like, flip it out, you play it, and it's done.
Have you tried the Marvel Remix?
I didn't. I like fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not anti-Marvel. I just
sure.
I have the fantasy version. I don't feel the need to get.
Okay.
I'm happy with the fantasy. I've got my dragon, which interacts with the wizard.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah. I've got
Yeah.
And you've got the cavern, the dragon likes being in the cavern.
I prefer fantasy to Marvel myself.
Yeah.
Tim likes both. He got the remix one, and he likes that version more because it has a few slightly different things.
See, I haven't played it, so I don't know what tweaks are different.
Okay.
But I mean, Fantasy Realms is the original, so that's the only one I've played because that's the one I got.
The biggest downfall now for me is the art.
What are you gonna do? See, but I'm not an art guy. If you've seen any of my prototypes,
your art's not great.
You will know that I am not an art guy.
I thought it was Ian O'Toole when I first looked at it.
I'm pretty good. I would love that. Ian O'Toole's amazing.
Yes.
But no, like when I work with co-designers, they're always like, "Dude, we need to like make this look even like legible.
Yeah,
legible would be great.
Helpful,
would be nice." And I'm like, "No,
fine, you write it.
Yeah, you do it." I'm just worried about the mechanisms and how it entangles with the theme.
That's right.
And
the important part.
The important stuff.
Yeah, you guys
which of course people being able to see what you're doing is important.
Most of the time, I suppose.
It is important.
Yeah.
Graphic design, super important. It's not my It's not my bailiwick.
Yeah, not my wheelhouse. I hear you. That's like I have a bunch of minis I would love to have painted.
Right.
Not a painter.
Yeah. No. It would take me like 10 hours. Because I'm so meticulous.
Oh, okay.
Like I can really zone in. I've got a little bit
ADHD.
A little bit on it.
Whichever one that is.
I'm not. I cannot diagnose mental health disorders.
Sure.
But if I were to self-diagnose,
Google thinks.
Google said, Dr. Google says that I'm on the hypersensitivity spectrum more than the other spectrum.
The other one, sure.
Because I wasn't sure for a minute.
Okay.
Because I've got that kind of brain, whereas like people are like, "Are you an engineer?"
Right.
Who just happens to be bubbly and animated, but my brain is very engineering brain.
Right.
But
mechanisms.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't care about the art. I don't care about this. Like, I want it to be good.
Right.
But
it's not as important.
I can't be bothered with it. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And why can't you people just see past my bad chicken scratch?
Right.
And see
look at it for what it is.
Yeah. This is the mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to mention or talk about?
Oh gosh. I don't even know.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, I love this industry.
Yeah.
I love making friends, catching, like
new people,
finding new channels.
Right.
And hanging out with people.
Do you come to Origins every year?
Or? Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, there was a couple of years there where.
Sure. Yeah.
I
think most people must.
But I come every year.
Nice.
I have a you guys asked me to come and play After the Empire with you and sit down and check out the expansion and to have somebody excited about a thing that I've created. It's like it's amazing. It's a dream come true. This industry is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's small enough where you get to know everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, you designed Urza's Saga. Okay.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I played a bunch of that when I, and the guy's like, hey, yeah, good to meet you. Like just nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about, like, you walk around the convention, you talk, and you meet people, and it's very rare when you run into that aforesaid a-hole that we everybody seems to be more welcoming. We've gotten rid of all of them, and now we're a bunch of welcoming, friendly people. For the most part.
Yeah, and it's just an amazing community.
Yeah.
Where like people want you to do well.
Yes.
Even your perceived competitors.
Right.
Want you to do well.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you called up another channel and you're like, hey, what are you guys doing for this audio thing? They'd be like, oh, dude, let me tell you what we're using and how we do that. Yeah, it's kind of weird to use with this program, and they would walk you through it.
Literally had a guy earlier today. Yeah. Oh, you have this board. Oh, did you guys know this, and this?
Yeah.
And
it's
friendly.
like everybody wants to help each other.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's awesome. This like recharges me. It makes me feel like a part of a community.
It would be a dream come true if I could quit my regular day job and just deal with this kind of stuff all the time.
Right.
But come Monday, it's literally back to the grind for me.
I know.
Grinding things,
yeah. I have the luxury of like working several jobs, but not 5 days a week, any of them.
Okay.
So I'm like game design 3 days a week. Yeah. My regular job 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And then a couple other I own too many things.
Okay.
I have a coffee shop.
Oh, cool.
And I have a midlife on once a week. And so I'm doing all these things. Then, the acting stuff, and I'm in a metal band. And just all the things.
Cool.
Midlife crisis. What are you gonna do?
I hear that.
What are you gonna do?
I didn't. Don't do that.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that
0
one.
out of 10, do not recommend.
For whatever reason, my wife is so ridiculously supportive of all my weird stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, you can go
fine.
she's like, you can go to 4 conventions a year, which
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
And we have a 3.5-year-old, so she's like, "That's your limit."
Yeah.
Because single mom's hard.
Right. Yeah. Maybe some of these conventions too. Once the kid gets old enough, bring them along.
That is my sincerest hope.
Yeah.
My daughter. Designed a game.
Wow.
When she was like 2.5 or 3.
Pick this up.
It's called Push Push Macaroni.
Okay.
That's the name.
Okay.
There's a unicorn who is out front, and everybody else is like this horse trying to catch up with this unicorn, and you roll a die and you
push the unicorns up.
It's push macaroni. The unicorn's name is Macaroni, and it wears a hat with a feather. Anyway.
Nice.
Like literally, she stood there on her dinner table chair. She's not supposed to stand on. Sit down, butt on the chair. And she was like, I'm thinking of a game. She just like came up with the mechanisms and the name. Yeah. And I'm like, Push Push Macaroni. That's a bestseller.
Yeah, right?
Right?
That will sell.
That's a Kinderspiel. Like that.
Yeah.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
That's a great name. So I'm like, now I just have to design it.
Yeah.
And then
and publish it.
But I mean, she actually already designed it.
Yeah.
I just have to actually make the thing.
You got to make one of those sheets I've seen people handing out.
So coming soon, Push Push Macaroni.
Look for it.
Designed by Madeline Halbert and assisted by Evan Halbert.
Nice.
So like it's
fantastic.
So my sincerest hope is that she does not lose interest in games.
Sure. Yeah. That'd be like my biggest thing if I had a kid. I feel like they'd probably hate board games. I'd be like,
right.
Figures.
I know. My wife and I are like, she's going to be a cheerleader. Yeah. She's going to be into muscle cars.
Right.
Like
all the stuff you don't like.
All the stuff we're not, like she's going to be super popular.
People are going to like her. All the things you're not, right?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yep. Awesome. Cool. Anything else? Or?
I don't know.
I think I'm
cool.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Well, we appreciate
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Time with us. Yeah. Great playing
awesome.
After the
Love
Empire
your channel.
Yeah.
It's like every time I hear it mentioned and you're like, I love this game. It fills my heart with joy. So
awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep it up because I'll probably keep loving that game.
Cool.
Laird.
Laird.
I forgot to introduce you as Laird Evan.
I am technically a Scottish lord, which the name is Laird, because I bought 1 square foot of. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I got one given to me for Christmas.
Yeah. I got one from my brother, from my buddy that owns the game store.
Oh, nice.
So technically, there's 3.
We should try to put them all together.
And make one like 4 by 4. Yeah.
We'll set up a table and go play games over there. That sounds like a plan.
This is our land.
This is our land. Our island. Yeah. So cool.
Dude.
Well, yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I've been Bob. This has been Evan. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thank you.